I push open the front door, balancing my design portfolio and a takeout bag of Thai food. The house feels wrong immediately, too quiet, too still. Derek's silver Audi sits in the driveway, but there's no music playing, no television sports commentary, no smell of dinner cooking. Hello? My voice echoes through the entryway. Derek? Noah? The silence stretches until I hear the faint sound of cartoon voices from the living room. I find Noah sprawled on the carpet, surrounded by Legos, eyes fixed on the television screen. Hey, buddy. I set my things down, glancing at the clock, 7:15 p.m. Where's Daddy? Did you have dinner? Noah shrugs without looking up. He said he had to go somewhere. I had goldfish. My stomach tightens. Derek always feeds Noah a proper dinner when I have late client meetings. It's our routine, our agreement. I run my hand over Noah's soft hair and force a smile. Let me get you something real to eat, okay? I move through the house, calling Derek's name. His car is here, but everything feels hollow, abandoned. The kitchen is untouched, no dishes in the sink. The family room sits empty, the throw pillows perfectly arranged, too perfect. When I reach our bedroom, I notice the door slightly ajar. I push it open and freeze. The closet doors stand wide open, Derek's side completely bare. The wooden hangers hang empty, swaying slightly from the air conditioning vent above. What the? I whisper, moving to the bathroom. His toothbrush is gone, his electric razor, the expensive cologne I bought him for Christmas. The medicine cabinet stands open, his prescriptions missing. I yank open his dresser drawers half empty, only old t-shirts and worn-out sweats remaining. My heart pounds against my ribs as I rush to the hallway closet, where we store our luggage. The space yawns empty, all 3 suitcases gone. Back in our bedroom, I notice our wedding photo on the nightstand. It's been placed face down, the silver frame cold against my fingertips as I lift it. 5 years of marriage, collapsed without warning. I grab my phone, fingers trembling as I dial Derek's number. Straight to voicemail. I try again. And again. Derek, where are you? What's happening? Call me back immediately. I scroll through our recent text messages, searching for clues, for warnings I might have missed. Nothing seems unusual. Discussions about Noah's school, a dinner reservation, a reminder to pick up dry cleaning. Noah's laugh floats down the hallway, oblivious to the catastrophe unfolding. I force myself to breathe, to think. I check Derek's home office next. His laptop is gone. The desk drawer that held his passport stands open and empty. With shaking hands, I input the combination to our safe. The documents are disturbed, and Derek's passport is missing. So is the emergency cash we kept there, nearly $2,000. When panic threatens to overwhelm me, I do the only thing I can think of. I call Lisa, Derek's mother. She picks up on the 3rd ring. Penelope. Her voice sounds strange, distant, not surprised. Lisa, Derek is gone. His clothes, his passport, everything. Do you know where he is? Has he called you? The pause stretches so long I check to see if the call dropped. Lisa, are you there? You never made my son happy. The words slice through me, cold and precise. Not from the very beginning. What are you talking about? Where is he? The line goes dead. I collapse onto the kitchen floor, phone clutched to my chest, struggling to muffle the sobs that tear through me. The tile feels cold against my legs as the room spins around me. Mommy? I look up to find Noah standing in the doorway, his small face pinched with concern. Why are you crying? I swipe at my cheeks, forcing my face into something resembling composure. Everything's fine, sweetheart. Mommy just dropped something. He doesn't believe me, I can see it in his eyes, but he nods anyway. As I heat up dinner for Noah, memories assault me. Derek's secretive phone calls that ended abruptly when I entered a room. His sudden interest in international news programs. The travel brochure for Spain I found tucked under the seat of his car, that he dismissed as work research. The extra hours at the office that his assistant seemed confused about when I called looking for him one evening. And Lisa stopping by unannounced to take Noah for ice cream, asking strange questions about my work schedule, my friends, whether I ever thought about moving abroad. For 3 days, I exist in limbo. I call Derek's phone until my battery dies. I put on makeup each morning, smiling for Noah while falling apart in the bathroom with the shower running to mask my sobs. Then at 3:47 a.m. on the 4th night, my phone lights up with a text message. We'll meet in court. The phone slips from my trembling fingers, clattering to the floor. In those 4 simple words, I understand the full scope of what's happening. This wasn't a sudden decision, a momentary break. Derek has been planning this for months, maybe longer. And now, the real war begins. 10 days after the message, the mailman's footsteps retreat down the walkway as I stare at the certified letter in my hands. The return address makes my stomach clench, a law firm I've never heard of. I tear open the envelope with trembling fingers and unfold the documents inside. Petition for dissolution of marriage. My eyes scan the page, the legal terminology blurring until one detail snaps into focus. Petitioner, Derek Nelson, residing at Calle Valencia, 317, Madrid, Spain. Madrid, Spain, a foreign country. The papers slip from my fingers and flutter to the floor. My knees buckle, and I sink down beside them, pressing my hand against my mouth to hold back a scream. Mommy? Noah stands in the doorway, his Batman backpack still strapped to his small shoulders. Why is the mail on the floor? Why are you crying? I swipe at my cheeks, unaware of the tears until now. Just some grown-up stuff, sweetheart. Nothing for you to worry about. He stares at me with those eyes, Derek's eyes filled with confusion that I can't answer without shattering his world. 2 days later, I sit across from Walter Green, my parents' longtime family attorney. His office smells of leather and expensive cologne, but his attention keeps drifting to the golf trophy on his credenza. International divorces are messy, Penelope, he says, barely glancing at the papers. And frankly, your husband has the advantage here. Established residence abroad, initiated filing first. He taps his Mont Blanc pen against his desk calendar. I suggest you consider reasonable settlement terms. He abandoned us, I say, my voice tight. He took our money. He's in another country. Walter shrugs. People divorce all the time. Courts favor shared custody these days. I leave his office with my folder of papers and a business card I have no intention of using again. In the parking lot, my car makes a grinding sound, then dies completely. I rest my forehead against the steering wheel and laugh, a hollow sound that edges toward hysteria. Of course the car would break down. Of course. Later that night, after tucking Noah into bed with extra stories and reassurances, a thought strikes me. Derek's email still logged in on our family iPad. He'd always been careless about technology, believing himself too smart to need security precautions. The blue light of the screen illuminates my face as I scroll through his account. And there it is, a confirmation email for an apartment deposit in Madrid in Lisa's name. My finger trembles as I tap on the attachment. A lease agreement beginning 3 weeks ago. I keep digging. Flight confirmation from Denver to Madrid one way, sent to his inbox 4 months ago. An email thread between Derek and Lisa catches my eye. Extraction plan timeline. My stomach lurches as I open it. Mom needs you to handle the apartment lease in your name. Less traceable that way. I'll transfer funds to your account next week. Let's aim for March departure. Penelope has that big hotel design project due then, and will be too busy to notice anything unusual. His mother's reply, "Smart thinking, honey. Once you're established, we can focus on the custody angle." She still has no idea what's coming. I print the emails, hands shaking so badly the pages come out crooked. I keep searching until I find a draft email to a Spanish law firm. As discussed, our custody strategy will focus on the mother's history of mental instability. She experienced severe postpartum depression after our son's birth, requiring medication and therapy. My mother, Lisa Whitman, can provide a statement regarding her observations of Penelope's emotional instability during this period and continuing patterns of concerning behavior. The bile rises in my throat. I barely make it to the bathroom before vomiting, the acid burning my throat. Through watering eyes, I see Lisa bringing casseroles during those dark weeks after Noah's birth, sitting with me, asking questions, offering to take notes on my medication schedule to help. She wasn't helping. She was gathering ammunition. At 1 a.m., I call the only person I can think of, Rebecca, my college roommate who works in publishing in New York. Her voice, groggy at first, sharpens when she hears the quaver in mine. "Pen, you need Harper Gaines. She handled my cousin's nightmare divorce. I'm texting you her number now." 2 days later, I sit in Harper's modest office. Unlike Walter's mahogany showpiece, her space feels functional desk covered with organized stacks of files, walls lined with law books instead of golf photos. "So he emptied your accounts, established residence in Spain, and is planning to use your postpartum depression against you in a custody battle. Harper summarizes, her pen flying across her yellow legal pad. This isn't just a divorce, Penelope. This is a calculated attack. For the first time since Derek's disappearance, someone believes me. Start looking for financial records, Harper advises. Bank statements, investment accounts, anything he might have hidden. That night, I tear apart Derek's home office. Behind the false bottom of his desk drawer, I find a statement from a Cayman Islands account containing $52,000. In his email, a job application to Global Horizon Madrid, dated 6 months ago. Our joint account statements reveal the pattern: small transfers, never more than a few $1,000s at once, siphoned over months. Each withdrawal a betrayal, each transaction a lie told while sleeping beside me. When I bring everything to Harper, she arranges the documents in meticulous piles. Every piece of deception strengthens our position, she says. Her expression turns grave. But I need to be honest with you about international custody complications. If Derek establishes Spanish residency before our court date, things get exponentially harder. And based on this timeline, he could potentially return for Noah at any time. The room spins around me. He could take my son away. Harper nods. We need to file for an emergency custody order immediately. Today. As the words sink in, something shifts inside me. The fog of betrayal burns away, replaced by a clarity I haven't felt in weeks. I think of Noah sleeping in his dinosaur pajamas, trusting that his world is safe. He won't take my son. I say, my voice steady for the first time in days. Whatever it takes, Derek will not take my son. I am no longer just a victim. I am becoming something far more dangerous, a mother fighting for her child. 3 days later, I twist the screwdriver with more force than necessary, securing the final deadbolt. 3 new locks on each exterior door, window sensors on every possible entry point. The house I once felt safe in now feels like a fortress under siege. Mommy, why are we getting so many locks? Noah asks from behind me, clutching his dinosaur figure. Just being extra careful, I say, testing the door. The bolt slides home with a satisfying clunk, like wearing a helmet when you ride your bike. His 6-year-old logic accepts this without question. I wish my adult mind could find such simple comfort. My phone buzzes with an email confirmation from the security company. Cameras installed at every entrance, notifications sent directly to my phone. The invoice makes my stomach clench, money I don't have to spare, but the alternative is unthinkable. Later that night, after tucking Noah in, I spread international custody law printouts across the kitchen table. Harper's highlighted sections blur before my tired eyes. Hague Convention, habitual residence, wrongful removal, terms that never mattered until my husband disappeared with his bags. My email notification chimes. Harper has filed the emergency custody motion, attaching Derek's obvious abandonment as evidence. The first countermove in our desperate chess game. He won't take my son, I whisper to the empty kitchen. He won't. The doorbell rings the next afternoon while I'm reviewing Noah's school pickup authorization forms. My heart slams against my ribs when I peek through the new peephole. Lisa Whitman stands on my porch, cashmere sweater perfectly pressed, silver hair immaculately styled. Derek's mother, now my enemy. Grandma. Noah shouts from behind me, running toward the door. I catch him gently by the shoulders. Let me talk to Grandma first, okay? Why don't you finish your snack in the kitchen? His disappointed face twists my heart, but he trudges back to his apple slices. I open the door exactly 3 inches, chain lock still engaged. Lisa. Penelope. Her smile doesn't reach her eyes. I've come to see my grandson. You'll need to contact my attorney, I say, my voice steadier than I feel. Lisa's perfectly composed face hardens. Don't be ridiculous. Family doesn't need lawyers to visit family. You stopped being family when you helped Derek abandon us. She leans closer to the gap. You know, this would all be much easier if you'd just cooperate. Joint custody isn't so terrible. Noah would have a wonderful life in Spain part of the year. The casual way she confirms what I suspected makes my blood run cold. You've been planning this for months. You'll regret making this difficult, she says, voice dropping to a venomous whisper. Derek has resources you can't imagine. I close the door in her face, hands trembling as I slide all 3 locks into place. Through the door, I hear her heels click angrily down the steps. Noah appears in the hallway. Why couldn't Grandma come in? I kneel to his level. Grandma and I need to work some things out first. Adult stuff. His small face crumples with confusion. Before I can comfort him, my phone rings Noah's school. 20 minutes later, I screech into the school parking lot, adrenaline pumping through my veins. The principal meets me at the front office, her face grave. Mrs. Whitman tried to pick up Noah, claiming she had your permission, she explains. When our secretary called to verify, she became insistent. My eyes find Lisa across the lobby, speaking animatedly with the school resource officer. She spots me, and her expression shifts to something performatively wounded. She has no authorization, I say, pulling out the emergency custody filing from my purse. My husband abandoned us and is trying to take my son away. His mother is helping him. The principal scans the document, eyes widening. I understand. We'll update our records immediately. Lisa strides toward us, security trailing behind. Penelope, this is absurd. I'm his grandmother. Noah peeks out from the classroom doorway, tears streaming down his face at the commotion. The sight of his confusion sparks something fierce in me. You need to leave. I tell Lisa, voice flat and final. The court has granted me emergency custody. Any contact with Noah must be supervised and approved by my attorney. The security officer steps forward. Ma'am, I'll need to escort you out. Lisa's composure cracks. You'll be sorry, she hisses as they lead her away. The car ride home fills with Noah's impossible questions. Why was Grandma crying? Is Daddy with Grandma? Why can't I see them? Each question is a knife. I give the simplest answers I can while white-knuckling the steering wheel. 3 days later, my credit card declines at the grocery checkout. The cashier's sympathetic look burns as I abandon our cart, pulling Noah away from the candy display. At home, I discover every joint account emptied, the health insurance canceled. My separate checking account, the only one Derek couldn't access, holds barely enough for 2 weeks of expenses. I call Harper immediately. Her voice tightens with controlled anger. This is financial abuse. We'll file for temporary support today. That night, I lay my wedding jewelry on the kitchen table, platinum engagement ring, diamond earrings, anniversary bracelet. Gifts that once symbolized love, now just assets to liquidate for groceries and bills. My phone pings with an unfamiliar international number as I'm packaging the jewelry for the pawn shop. He's doing the same thing to me. We should talk. I stare at the message, heart racing. A trap? Derek trying to trick me? I search the Spanish number online, finding nothing. Then I remember Derek's former assistant, Vanessa Cruz. Young, beautiful, always hovering near Derek at company functions. I call Harper before responding. Could be valuable, she says cautiously. But let me be present. Set up a video call through my office's secure system. The next afternoon, Vanessa's face fills Harper's office monitor. Flawless makeup can't hide the dark circles under her eyes or the bitter set of her mouth. I don't care about helping you, she says without preamble. I want him to pay. For what? I ask, still suspicious. For promising me marriage after your divorce. For the Luxembourg account we were supposed to share. For the Madrid apartment with my name on the lease. Her laugh is hollow. He told me you were separating by mutual agreement. My stomach turns. When did this start? Last year, after I became his assistant. She looks away. Once we got to Spain, he changed, treated me like I was disposable. His mother hates me. Harper leans forward. Vanessa, do you have documentation of any of this? Everything. Her eyes gleam with vindictive fire. Bank statements, text messages, photos of them together planning their next moves. She hesitates. And emails discussing their custody strategy against you. Harper's intake of breath is sharp. This changes everything. For the next hour, Vanessa shares screenshots, messages, bank records showing an elaborate financial network, photos of Derek and Lisa in Madrid cafes, planning documents spread between them. Make him suffer, Vanessa says as our call ends. That's all I ask. Later that night, Harper spreads the evidence across her conference table. Emergency hearing is set for custody determination. With this, she taps Vanessa's financial documents. We can prove deliberate fraud. I nod, absorbing the strategy, the subpoenas for Derek's banking records, the court process Harper outlines in meticulous detail. My sleepless night before the hearing stretches endlessly. I check on Noah 3 times, watching his peaceful breathing, memorizing his face. He stirs during my 3rd visit. Are the bad dreams coming back, Mommy? I smooth his hair back. No, sweetheart, the bad dreams are almost over. Tomorrow, we fight back. On Monday morning, my phone buzzes for the 6th time in 20 minutes. Derek again. We can work this out without the lawyers. Don't be unreasonable. The earlier messages ranged from threats, "You'll regret taking this to court," to almost pleading, "Just talk to me directly." Now he's offering a settlement, if you'll be reasonable about custody. I show Harper the latest text as we sit in her office reviewing documentation. Classic panic response, she says, sliding the phone back. The bank accounts being frozen hit a nerve. My phone rings again, Nancy from the book club, the 3rd concerned call today. I silence it, adding her to the growing list of Derek's allies. Lisa's been busy, I mutter, scrolling through missed calls. Half the neighborhood suddenly needs to check on my mental state. Harper raises an eyebrow. Social isolation is textbook. They never expect it to backfire. She's right. For every worried call from Derek's country club friends, I've received 2 genuine offers of support. People I barely knew before are showing up with unexpected kindness. Last week, Noah's teacher slipped a note into his backpack with resources for single parents. Mrs. Danvers next door organized a meal train that keeps our refrigerator stocked. Rebecca has practically moved into the guest room to help with Noah before the hearing. Even my smallest design clients, the ones Derek dismissed as hobby projects, paid invoices early when they heard about the situation. The artificial social world Derek constructed is crumbling, revealing something more genuine beneath. Ready to practice your testimony again? Harper asks, shuffling papers. I nod, straightening my spine. We've rehearsed this a dozen times, but the thought of facing Derek across the courtroom still sends a chill through my stomach. Yesterday, Noah had his 2nd therapy session. Dr. Marshall gently prepared him for possible outcomes while I waited outside, heartbreaking at the sound of my son asking if Daddy was angry at him. Today, the financial forensic expert Harper hired confirmed the trail of money through Derek's offshore accounts. The pattern is clear, Harper says, tapping a folder. My paralegal found 3 previous relationships with similar emotional manipulation, and Vanessa's deposition arrived securely this morning. Do you think it's enough? I ask. We have a timeline showing clear conspiracy. It's more than enough. My phone chimes with an alert from the neighborhood watch app. A silver Audi spotted 3 blocks over. He's back, I whisper, my heart suddenly pounding. Derek's back in town. Harper frowns. Earlier than expected, the hearing's not until Friday. That night, I bolt upright when headlights sweep across my bedroom ceiling. Through the blinds, I spot a silver car slowing near the driveway, before continuing down the street. Sleep abandons me completely. I spend the early morning hours installing additional security cameras with Mr. Danvers' help. By breakfast, a patrol car rolls past our house for the 3rd time, part of Harper's precautionary measures. Why is that police car always driving by? Noah asks, spooning cereal into his mouth. Just keeping the neighborhood safe, I answer, my voice steadier than my hands. That night, I dream Derek slips through the new locks, takes Noah from his bed, and disappears into darkness. I wake gasping, sheets damp with sweat, and check Noah's room twice before dawn. The next morning brings a call from Harper. Derek's lawyer reached out with a settlement offer. He'll drop the custody claim if you agree to financial concessions. What did you tell them? That we have everything documented and will see them in court. Her voice carries a rare hint of satisfaction. They're getting desperate. Later that afternoon, Noah's school calls. Lisa attempted another unauthorized pickup, but was denied access. Security escorted her from the building. There's something else, Harper says when I relay this news. Someone anonymously delivered your postpartum journal to the court. My stomach drops. Those private pages of darkness after Noah's birth when depression descended, and Derek documented every tear, every missed meal, every moment of withdrawal. Can they use that? My voice sounds small. No, I've already filed a motion to block the admission of illegally obtained evidence. The judge granted it this morning. For the first time in weeks, I feel a flicker of confidence. They really are desperate. That evening, Rebecca helps me organize the final evidence. Luxembourg and Cayman accounts documentation, arranged chronologically. Vanessa's video testimony queued and ready. Employment confirmation from Global Horizon Madrid. Screenshots of Derek's conspiracy with Lisa. The timeline showing premeditated abandonment. Noah's therapy drawings revealing his confusion and fear. "You've built a fortress of evidence," Rebecca says, squeezing my hand. Harper calls to confirm our final preparation meeting. "They have no idea what's coming," she says, her voice calm and certain. As I tuck Noah into bed on Thursday night, he wraps his arms around my neck, holding tight. "Are the bad guys going to win, Mommy?" I press my forehead against his. "Not this time, buddy. This time, the truth is on our side." In the hallway outside his room, I lean against the wall and take my first deep breath in days. Tomorrow, we face Derek in court. Tomorrow, the truth speaks louder than his lies. On Friday, the courthouse looms before me, a monument of cold marble and judgment. I smooth my navy slacks and straighten my cream blouse, chosen for its understated professionalism rather than flash. Harper walks beside me, case files tucked under her arm, her stride confident and measured. "Remember, let them show their hand first," she whispers as we approach the heavy wooden doors. Across the marble lobby, Derek and Lisa make their entrance. His tailored Italian suit probably cost more than my mortgage payment. Lisa's diamond earrings catch the light as she leans toward a court clerk, her voice carrying just enough for me to hear. "Such a shame when mothers become unstable," she murmurs. My fingers curl into fists, but Harper's hand on my elbow steadies me. "That's exactly what they want," she says under her breath. "Stay focused." Noah is safe with Rebecca, coloring and watching cartoons, blissfully unaware that his future hangs in the balance behind these imposing doors. Inside the courtroom, Derek's performance begins immediately. His lawyer, a silver-haired man with a silk tie that screams expensive, guides him through prepared testimony. Derek dabs at non-existent tears. "I only wanted what was best for Noah," he says, voice cracking on cue. Penelope's emotional instability since Noah's birth had me concerned for his safety. My throat tightens as he selectively recounts my darkest days of postpartum depression. The judge's face remains impassive, taking notes occasionally. Lisa takes the stand next, her pearl necklace gleaming under the fluorescent lights. "I tried to help," she says, eyes downcast in practiced concern. "But when I'd visit, the house would be in disarray. Noah sometimes uncombed, unfed. Lies, every word." I grip the edge of our table until my knuckles turn white. 3 country club acquaintances follow with vague anecdotes about my concerning behavior at social functions. One claims I once drank 3 glasses of wine at a dinner party. Another mentions how I snapped at Noah during a pool gathering when he ran toward the deep end. When Derek's lawyer finally sits, the courtroom falls silent. My heart hammers against my ribs. Harper rises slowly, buttoning her blazer. "No theatrics, just purpose." "Your Honor, this case isn't about a marriage dissolution," she begins. "It's about premeditated abandonment and financial fraud spanning 18 months. She activates the courtroom projector, displaying a timeline that begins well before Derek's disappearance. Exhibit A. Email confirmation of an apartment deposit in Madrid, Spain. Note the date 14 months ago. Note the name on the lease agreement, Lisa Whitman. Derek shifts in his seat. Lisa's face tightens. Exhibit B. Banking records showing systematic transfers to offshore accounts beginning 16 months ago, each under the $10,000 reporting threshold. The judge leans forward, examining the documentation. Exhibit C. Employment confirmation from Global Horizon Madrid, dated 3 months before Mr. Whitman abandoned his family. With each piece of evidence, Derek's confidence visibly crumbles. Lisa glances at him repeatedly, her perfectly manicured nails tapping nervously against her designer purse. "And now," Harper says, voice steady, "we present video testimony from Vanessa Cruz." The screen flickers to life. Vanessa appears, composed and direct. "Derek Whitman promised to marry me after his divorce," she states. "He told me his wife agreed to separation. He showed me an account in Luxembourg with over $230,000 he said we would share." She displays text messages, photos of Derek in Madrid long before his supposed escape, emails discussing their future together. After he arrived in Spain, he changed. When I confronted him about the promises, he threatened to have my work visa revoked. The courtroom remains silent, as Vanessa details Lisa's involvement arranging apartments, meetings, planning what she called Derek's extraction from an untenable marriage. Derek leans toward his lawyer, whispering furiously. The lawyer shakes his head, face grim. Harper introduces our financial forensic expert next. The woman methodically walks through the complex web of accounts, Cayman Islands, Luxembourg, numbered accounts in Switzerland, all traced back to Derek and, surprisingly often, to Lisa. Mr. Whitman claimed unemployment in Colorado while drawing a 6-figure salary in Madrid, she explains, pointing to bank transfers. The judge removes her glasses, addressing Derek directly. Mr. Whitman, how do you explain these discrepancies? Derek straightens his tie. I was exploring opportunities, Your Honor, planning for my future. While draining joint accounts and claiming unemployment benefits? The judge asks. My financial advisor suggested diversification. Derek stammers. His lawyer rises, objections falling flat as the judge overrules each one. The judge calls a 15-minute recess. In the corridor, Derek approaches, his face flushed with anger. You'll regret this, he hisses. Harper steps between us. It's already over, she says quietly. When court reconvenes, the judge's expression has hardened. She speaks without referring to notes. This court finds overwhelming evidence of financial fraud and premeditated abandonment. Full physical and legal custody of Noah Whitman is awarded to Penelope Nelson, with supervised visitation for Derek Whitman, restricted to American soil. I press my hand to my mouth, holding back a sob. All offshore accounts are frozen pending division of assets. Child support is set at the maximum allowable amount under Colorado law. The judge looks directly at Lisa. Furthermore, Mrs. Whitman is barred from unsupervised contact with her grandson due to her demonstrated willingness to undermine his family stability. Derek's face drains of color. Lisa bursts into tears, real ones this time, as reporters scribble notes in the back row. As we exit the courtroom, Harper squeezes my shoulder. Let's go get Noah. For the first time in months, I walk with my head high, free from the weight of their deception. A year later, the morning sun spills across my kitchen countertop as I flip pancakes into the shape of dinosaurs, Noah's favorite. Through the window of our Denver condo, golden light catches on the red geraniums I planted last spring, my small victory garden. Mom, is breakfast ready? Noah races in, clutching a drawing of our family. Just the two of us, standing beside a tree with enormous green leaves. No empty space where someone should be. Almost done, buddy. Did you brush your teeth? I slide a Triceratops pancake onto his plate, watching his face light up. His smile no longer holds that hesitant edge it carried for months after Derek left. Yep, and I picked out my own clothes for the play rehearsal. He proudly points to his mismatched socks, one blue, one green paired with khaki pants and a button-up shirt. Miss, Watkins says I have the most important part. I ruffle his hair, noticing how the sunlight catches the auburn highlights he inherited from me, not his father. You're going to be amazing. The doorbell chimes, and Rebecca lets herself in with her spare key, bearing coffee and fresh blueberry muffins. Morning, Nelsons. Ready for the big rehearsal day? Auntie Becca. Noah launches himself at her legs while I accept the coffee gratefully. You're a lifesaver, I tell her, inhaling the rich aroma. My last client meeting ran until midnight. The downtown hotel project finally approved all the designs. Rebecca winks. I heard. Denver Design Monthly called your firm the breakthrough success of the year. She lowers her voice. Also heard Derek's back in town. My stomach tightens, but not like before. Not the breathless panic that once claimed me. Sunday visitation, court supervised. Noah climbs onto his stool, oblivious to our conversation. Mom made dinosaur pancakes again. Lucky boy, Rebecca says, then whispers to me. How are you really doing? I consider the question, remembering the therapist's suggestion to pause before answering. Honestly, better than I ever expected. I glance at the refrigerator, covered with Noah's artwork, bright colors, happy scenes, no more shadowy figures or rain clouds. Harper called yesterday. Lisa tried to contest the visitation restrictions again. And? Denied. I can't help the small smile. The judge remembered everything. The kitchen fills with morning light, as Noah chatters about his role as the tree in the school play. 1 year ago, I couldn't imagine ever feeling peaceful again. Now I stand in this modest kitchen that belongs wholly to us, listening to my son laugh without restraint. My phone buzzes with a text from my support group meeting changed to Thursday. Another from a commercial client wanting to expand their project. A life rebuilt, piece by careful piece. Later, I sit in the school auditorium, program clutched in my hands, watching Noah scan the crowd. When he spots me, his entire face transforms, shoulders relaxing as if shedding a weight. The empty seat beside me doesn't matter anymore. Noah stands center stage in his tree costume, delivering his 3 lines with perfect timing. The audience applauds, and I rise to my feet, clapping until my hands sting. This is what matters this moment. This child, this life we've created together. Walking home under a canopy of autumn leaves, Noah slips his hand into mine. Mom? Yes, sweetheart? Are we going to be okay forever now? I squeeze his small fingers, remembering the courtroom, the evidence boxes, Harper's steady presence, the judge's affirming nod. I think about the recovered funds providing for Noah's future, the clients who trust my vision, the friends who showed up when it mattered. We already are. I tell him, and it's the truth. Later, we sit on our small porch swing, watching the sunset paint the sky in brushstrokes of orange and pink. Noah points upward as the first evening star appears. Look, make a wish, Mom. I pull him closer, his warm weight against my side. What would I wish for? I already have everything I need. Sometimes, I whisper into his hair, the family we're given isn't the family we need. I think of Derek, now working an entry-level job, showing up to supervised visits with stiff smiles. Of Lisa, whose social circle evaporated when the truth emerged. Of Vanessa, whose occasional postcards from Europe carry no bitterness now. The truth has a way of breaking chains. I murmur, watching Noah's eyes grow heavy with sleep. What would you have done in my shoes? Would you have fought back or walked away? And what would you tell Noah about his grandmother now? The answers don't matter anymore. We're free.